In the meantime, the Alagamo of Agamo, Ọba Kẹhinde Falọdun in Akure, North Local Government Area, Ondo State, was attacked by suspected bandits in his palace on Wednesday, February 18, 2026. According to the police, who earlier visited the scene alongside tactical teams from the command, they promptly mobilized officers in collaboration with local security outfits. Atuluse Security, local hunters, and Amotekun operatives also assisted in combing adjoining bushes and surrounding areas in a bid to apprehend the perpetrators. Efforts are ongoing to track down and arrest the fleeing suspects.
Last night, a monarch was attacked, and that culminated into his demise. My colleagues, heads of security agencies here, and myself, that's the police, the military, civil defense, and DSS, we went to the community for the spot assessment. Getting there, we were shown the track, the bush track that the hoodlums followed, where they shot at the monarch before they eventually dragged him somewhere and clubbed him to death. The younger brother to the monarch, to the deceased, and community members of the community, they gave us this information that we are going to work on. We appreciate them for giving that information. In our efforts to get the perpetrators of that.
To discuss the unabating security situation in Nigeria, we are joined by the President, Yoruba Council Worldwide, Oladotun Hassan. Thank you so much, sir, Mr. Hassan, for joining us in our studios to discuss this.
It's a pleasure to be here.
So what is your take on the incessant attacks that we're seeing in our vulnerable communities in Nigeria, most especially now that it's even affecting revered kings in these places?
Well, we commiserate with the departed soul, because every innocent soul have been killed in the recent times, from the local world to the Yelewata to every other part of the country, has really bleed the Nigerian nation to its marrows, and it's quite unfortunate that the situation is still yet to be abated. But we must equally commend, because our securities are really trying, especially our military, especially considering the fact that there are synergy with the U.S. government in the fight against terrorism. But to me, I still want to reaffirm that the federal government must play more pivotal role in empowering local securities, because I believe this reactive measure from the police after incidents often allow the criminals to remain unfettered. And while we want this local security to be properly empowered with proper ammunitions, gadgets, support system, even funding, so that when you maybe look at the Ondo killing now, the Atuluse group, how much harm did they possess in their possession? Did they even have the license to even attack these terrorists? So the government must play more role to ensure that volunteer youth must volunteer now. If every community youth can bring about at least not less than 1,000 youth to volunteer in defending their immediate community, those 10,000, maybe 1,000 in every immediate community, in an amalgam of all, in every local government, will be coming up with no less than 500,000 in a local government. So to us, we've already projected this to Mr. President, to have a national joint regional security network, whereby our local security from Amotekun to OPC to Agbekoya around the southwest can be amalgamated together, can be harmonized, well trained, with proper means of gathering intelligence, proper means of working with the DSS, with the police, so that the synergy, just as we have in the civilian JTF. What's apparent civilian JTF is the fact that there is no proper training, there is no proper incubation of all these personnel. Okay, so we believe if we can really
understand.
put this to the fore,
I understand. Sorry to butt in, all right? People have actually accused influential leaders, traditional leaders in communities, of being laid back. They've accused them of not being vocal in talking about the killings that have gone on in their communities in recent past. Up until now, that we're now seeing these attacks at their doorsteps. Would you say that they have not really done enough in putting the government on their toes?
Our traditional institutions are trying. We are aware in the recent past that the Oni of Ife or Niade Babatunde Nitogurusi hosted a security summit of all traditional leaders across the Southwest to discuss and profile solutions. These are areas of appreciation. But at the same time, what is lacking is the fact that government responsiveness to this. And where is the government we are talking about? The local government. If Mr. President must leave the governors out of it in one way or the other, let Mr. President host all local government chairmen to a security defensive summit. Not just a summit, a meeting, a decision-making meeting, whereby they also will be empowered with security vote, not security vote to keep, to ensure that they buy arms and ammunition, buy all the necessary gadgets, and also have a well-cut-out intelligence formation. So that at the end of the security is not a cheap business, it's a very serious commitment. And the present government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we must give him a whole lot of appreciation. But it's just that there is an overwhelming political interference. Because when you see the opposition, they don't prefer solution at this critical point in time. They rather go and slam the president instead of preferring solutions.
Okay.
And that's more killing of our democracy.
Yeah,
so, to me,
yeah,
what I still want to implore is the fact that Mr. President, with the governors, with all local government chairmen and traditional institutions, then have advised, let there be Federal Ministry of Chieftaincy and Traditional Affairs that will oversee traditional institution responsibility, because the Constitution did not provide responsive role for traditional rulers. There is just an institution of the association, but they need to be the fourth tier of government after the local government. The next government that should be recognized, properly incubated, is the traditional institution. Okay,
permit me to equally ask these questions. We've heard the Nigerian army come out to say that there is a kinetic and non-kinetic approach to dealing with terrorism in the country. Recently, we just saw some repentant terrorists who, according to the powers that be, have been de-radicalized. Would you support the motion that the government should look away from punishing these culprits that have been apprehended and see how they can be reintegrated into the society?
To me, terrorism is a different kind of offense. And as a lawyer, there is always this hour of the way we treat criminality with kid's glove. I don't believe in terrorist repentance. There's nothing to be written home about that. Okay, the people ones that are repentant, that they were even recruited into the Nigerian army, that is even most dangerous. Somebody coming as a blood-sucking vampire, you place him in our institution of security, defense. Mr. President must call for audit. Mr. President must call for the military audit, and that's where the defense minister must work on. The DGDSS must not leave those flanks open. And this is not the first time royal fathers are being killed. We've seen a lot in the recent past as well. This is just like showing us that they are more emboldened. We just had the killing in Kiama, that with a lot of people were killed. It's just like now bloodletting is now becoming a no more news. So to me, I want to appeal that our traditional rulers must look beyond just appealing for the release of their kinsmen. They should be more focused on uniting beyond political affiliation, because the terrorists don't know either you are APC or PDP. So beyond political attrition, more of this whole thing comes out of the fact that we are not united together as a people. The day we will be united, and that's why I've advised Mr. President, we've written to him and we are using this medium to equally call on him, that the forest guards are not enough. Let all this amalgam of all our socio-cultural organizations, let them be duly recognized. Those that have volunteers youth, let me tell you, 5 well-fortified efficacy traditional person in Yoruba land can face Boko Haram and defeat them.
Okay, so
but the only thing is that
yes,
they are afraid to carry their arms, they are afraid to even engage, because there is no leeway. So the president must have an executive order to ensure that in terms of security, we are in a hour of war. Because for the Lukarawa and all these Boko Haram to have declared war on the citizen, we have all legal position to defend.
Okay, so permit me to also bring this in. There have been conversations around institutionalizing state police. But from what you've said so far, you are more on the side of equipping local hunters. Which one do you think can actually effectively deal with terrorism in our communities?
Is a concurrent dealing. Without, we are not even talking, I'm not even advocating for state police, I'm advocating for local government policing. Meaning, we have to shift our attention from the state. We are even more backward if you are looking at state policing. We ought to have even passed the stage of state policing. The unfortunate thing is that these governors are not attentive. It took Mr. President to even go to the Supreme Court to ensure that they release funds to local government. Even at a recent summit, they are still yet to consider recognizing local government independency. So to me, my fear, and to many Nigerians, it's not the fact that Mr. President cannot allow state police, but to what gravitas and responsiveness with these governors. And that's why I'm calling Mr. President. Any local government chairman that is duly, legitimately elected, invite them, pay them their money, have monthly National Council of State meeting with the local government chairman. And with that, it will now empower the local government chairman to deal straightly with all the traditional institutions, empower them, because every local government knows their area of dealings and their community. So they can even identify areas that they can block this hoodlum, so that at the end of the day, by the time they are doing this, there must also be the legislation that will guide and protect them, because if the law to protect them is not there, then there's not going to just be an anarchy.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Oladotun Hassan. It was nice talking to you on the news.
It's really a pleasure talking with you.